What's up, everybody? It's your boy Merciful Kev, and back again with another video. And today we're going to be talking about Splitgate 2. If you guys haven't noticed, it was shadow dropped, right? No one knew it was going to happen. It was shadow dropped at Summer Games Fest recently, a couple days ago. And isn't it crazy how just recently, a few days ago, I posted a video talking about the FPS space on, especially on consoles, but just in general, the FPS space is so weird right now. It just felt off. It felt lacking, especially everything that's going on with Call of Duty, as it always been. Right? There's a need. Right? There's a need. There's a demand in the FPS space, and then here comes Splitgate 2 out of nowhere at Summer Game Fest and just gets shadow dropped on us. Right? It's literally insane. So, and it's crazy because like the devs acknowledge it, they acknowledged what's lacking in the FPS space. They stepped up to the plate, they took the challenge, and here they are, right? And as of right now, everybody's having so much fun with this game, including myself, and it is literally so close to being perfect. One of the devs, I don't really remember his name, but he even went on stage with one of those like Trump hats or whatever, right? Obviously, it had nothing to do with a political standpoint, but just it was more about making FPS games great again. Which, look, honestly, besides the symbol part, who cares about the symbol part? It's the hat says what it says, and it means what it means, and I agree with it 1000%. We need to make FPS games great again. This is exactly what I talk about in the previous video that I made talking about FPS games on console, and I strongly agree with him, you know, and he apologized because I guess he got scrutiny about, you know, what the hat symbolizes, but like, bro, we're all gamers. We're all we like Splitgate 2, right? We like FPSs because we're gamers, right? The hat was referencing gaming. Do we or do we not want FPS games to be great again? I think we do. So me personally, I don't think he should have apologized, but whatever. That's a whole nother topic, right? But yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about here are the game modes, right? I'm not really gonna dive into like the battle pass and the event, which is basically like another type of pass where you unlock cosmetics and stuff or what. I just want to get down to like the gameplay, right? The nitty gritty, right? So there's the arena game mode, right, which is basically your traditional, you know, small maps or big maps or whatever. It's basically just anything that's not BR, right? So they got Team Deathmatch, you know, Firecracker, which is basically like your search and destroy, and then Hot Zone, which is basically like your domination. Then they have a game mode with like, it's basically just arena, which is all these game modes but with no portals. And then there's OG Splitgate, where they have, you basically only play as one of the three classes, which is arrows, and you play with no abilities, no equipment. It's just straight up OG Splitgate, which is again playing as arrows and no abilities, no equipment, and just portals, right? And then they also have custom maps. They have a map creator. Like, how amazing is that? You know how cool it would be if Call of Duty had a map creator and then we could just all play in that map that we create? Like, how amazing is that, right? And I think this is obviously something that's inspired from Halo, right? I believe it's inspired from Halo. I think this is something that Halo used to do. I know I played as a kid. I played Halo every now and then, but I wasn't like a super like Halo freak, right? But yeah. Now, one thing I did notice is that I did not see that I did not see any ranked mode. I'm sure that's something that's gonna come in the future. Like, it would make no sense for Splitgate 2 to not have any ranked mode. So not sure if that was announced at all. If you guys know anything about that, let me know down in the comments. But yeah, so let me just get into the pros. I think the game is so like nearly perfect, right? And especially in the aspect of the arena mode, right? The movement, the gameplay, I mean the gunplay, right? The movement and the gunplay just feel so smooth, so top tier, right? The speed, like there's also something about like you can accumulate speed in the things that you do in the game, whether you're like hovering and then hovering down and sliding on the ground and then using the slide to keep, like, there's momentum in your movement depending on what you do. I think there's also like a movement speed when you're coming out of portals and all that stuff. So it's like that all being implemented together. Like, if you can master that, it's just wow. It's gonna be even more fun to play, right? Then the guns just feel so good. They all have their own different feeling, right? Like the tempo, the cadence, and
What the hell?
a bunch of other weapons, or even like the ultimate weapons like the Borealis, which I think is like a sniper, and then I forgot the other one was basically like a rocket launcher, but they all have a good feeling, right? And that's great. And then the TTK I think is perfect. I feel like it doesn't take too much to kill somebody. It doesn't take it doesn't take too much to kill somebody, but it's not also so quick where you're just dying and getting like one-shotted every moment. So I think it's perfect in that sense. They have simple abilities, right? I know everybody's sick of like hero shooters, where we have all these heroes, they have different abilities and blah blah blah. I get it, but in this game there's only 3. Now I don't know if there's going to be more than 3 later on in the future, who knows. But with the 3 that we have, the abilities are so simple. They're just so simple, right? I think arrows is it just it allows you to if you pop your ability, it just allows you to move faster. I think what's the other one? Meridian just allows you to see enemies through walls for a brief time. That kind of helps your teammates. And then I think what's the other one? Sabrask, which basically allows you to pop up like a shield temporarily to have cover for you and your teammates. And that's it. That's the extent of the abilities, right? Now, you do have perks and stuff like that, but these perks are kind of more like a passive type of thing, which even Call of Duty has perks, man. Like, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. But the point I'm trying to make is that everything is the design of everything with these characters and their abilities and the passive perks. It's just simple stuff. It's very, very simple stuff. It doesn't go into any craziness. You know what I mean? Like in the sense of like abilities of like Destiny in that sense. So the map designs are great. The maps look so good, easy to maneuver around, right? And then a huge thing is is loose SBMM. The SBMM is loose. Obviously, I know everybody hates SBMM in Call of Duty, and it triggers everybody, even me, including myself, and it makes you just want to stop playing. You're sick of freaking playing against sweats. You just want to hop onto a game, have some fun with your friends, not take it too seriously. If you want to get serious, go into ranked, and that's it, right? So the loose SBMM with Splitgate 2, from what I'm seeing, is that the matchmaking it basically prioritizes matchmaking quickly, right? Or matchmaking connection versus skill. So there's always going to be like a great variety of people playing, whether they're good or bad or whatever, which is, again, that's how we want it, right? Now cons, really, I don't really have any cons for the arena game mode. I feel like all I can really say is that there is a learning curve when it comes to portals. Please comment down below if you feel weird using portals, because I do. I try to use them, I forget to use them, but even when I do use them and then I pop out to the other side, I feel like I'm in a whole different place, even though I did aim this portal there and I'm coming out of the portal that I aimed at. Like it's like my mind is supposed to know that, hey, you place this portal here, you should know where you are. But like when you go out of the portal, it's like where am I? Like, oh, do I turn left, do I turn right? It just feels weird. I'm not used to it. So you guys let me know if you guys are having that same problem, right? And then I believe like the other con I would have for this is just matchmaking with custom maps. So I tried to play in the custom maps. Like I saw that they had a version of Nuketown in there from Call of Duty. So I tried to get into that and it wouldn't let me. So I don't know if like this is just, if these custom maps are only for like private matches. If they are, that sucks. I feel like these, maps that we create, these custom maps should be used within matchmaking. You know what I'm saying? Like, not necessarily that they should be in the rotation of like the general matchmaking when it comes to the arena, but if I want to play with people that are playing in this custom map, I should be able to click on Nuketown and matchmake, people in that map. You get what I'm saying? So let me know down in the comments if you guys agree with that. So now let's get into the BR and the Battle Royale. And I'm sure that's what you guys, want to talk about the most, since that's the biggest surprise out of Splitgate 2 is that there's a freaking Battle Royale, right? Something that most people have wanted Halo to do for a long time, and Splitgate 2 beat them to it. So let's get into it. So there's so many good things about this BR. Like, it is insane. Like, it's, like I said, nearly perfect. And I'm just go down the list of things that I think make this game so freaking amazing, this game mode so amazing, right? So again, just like the arena, the movement, right, the gunplay, everything feels good. The plating, like you can literally plate while, you know, hovering with the jetpack and sliding and you can literally do everything that you normally do while plating, which is great that they paid attention to that detail. They have the TTK is still really, really good, even with shields and even with different levels of shields. Now you do feel the difference when you're shooting somebody with like a level 4 shield or legendary shield, which is like orange or whatever. When you see somebody have that shield, it is gonna take way more to kill that person, but then again, that is the whole point of having those different levels of shields. And honestly, you can't even get those shields until you're like towards the end game anyway, so if you're one of the like the last remaining teams alive anyway. So, and again, the simple abilities, they're not doing too much with the abilities here. It's just simple stuff, and I feel like the simple abilities work even better in the BR than they do in the arena. They have more of a usability, I guess you could say, right? So then the map designs are basically just like the huge maps. I think that's for the 24 onslaught game mode, and it takes them and puts them together. At first I thought that you had to like jump across to the other map, to the other maps, because when you look at the map they look like they're separated, but they're not. You actually just walk over and you're automatically in the other zone. So but yeah, either way, very, very good, very, very placed together very, very well. They come together very well. That's what I'm trying to say, right? And the way they direct you, right? So you never really feel lost. You always know where to go. They have the symbols where, you know, the like, let's say for example you're going to the sanctum side and it's closing, it's red, so you obviously know not to go to that side. And then the available maps that are open to you that you can go to will be green, obviously, right? So you go and just follow those markers. And then the match time is just so good. Like you can literally hop into a BR match and you'll be done in like 10-15 minutes, assuming that you last till the end. If you don't last till the end, then obviously you're in and out of there in you know 2 to 5 minutes, right? But the fact, again, the funability, is that even a word? I don't even think that's a word. Funability, I'm gonna use it anyway. Funability, right? The fact that you can just come home from work, right? This pertains to the dads out there, right? You come home from work, you know, hop on a BR match with your friends, with your buddies. You're in and out 15 minutes. You can play 2 matches max, you know, assuming that you only have like 30 minutes to play, and then go attend to your family, right? I think that's one of the great highlights of this BR right now, which is great. And I think like the ring has a lot to do with that, right? The crossplay with console, which I forgot to mention for the arena, they also have that feature for the arena. The fact that I get to choose to crossplay only against console players is amazing. You know, no shade to PC players, but you already know what comes with PC players, the whole cheating aspect of it, and us console players are sick of it. So it's always good to have at least that option in there, right? I know it's a touchy subject too, because also as like the developers, they should be afraid of like it affecting the matchmaking times and stuff like that, but the fact that they just went on and did it screams volume. So, and then also there's timed events in the VR, which is so fire. I think that's such a great thing to add, because it spices up the gameplay a little bit, right? There's times where it'll say, oh, everything moves faster, right? So everyone, and again, it's not just giving you an advantage, it's giving everyone an advantage, right? Everyone gets to benefit from this. So, you know, everyone gets to move faster. So guess what? If you start to get into a gunfight, right, or you're better at movement than, you know, other people, then when that timed event shows up telling you that everything moves faster, you're going to take advantage of that and try to use it to your advantage to get into gunfights and use that speed boost, right? I think another timed event is the double damage, right? So double damage for a certain amount of time. And hey, maybe you have a shotgun, maybe you have a sniper, or I don't know, maybe that motivates you to, hey, let me get into a gunfight right now and take advantage of this double damage, right? You know, again, and it benefits everyone because you're also going to receive double damage, depending on who you're going up against. You know what I mean? So it's just a great way to spice up the combat out in the field, to, you know, kind of prevent people from just standing around and like avoiding gunfights, because you can avoid gunfights, right? And one of the plus signs of this battle royale is choosing to disengage from a fight to make sure that your teammates spawn back, right? Because in this game, you're allowed, there is no one life, right? You are allowed to come back over and over and over again, and there is no timer on that. It doesn't end. It's all the way until the end of the game. You know, if you're able to get away from enemies or win the gunfights of the whoever you're going up against, that's going to lead you to bringing back your teammates. So that's huge. That's very, very huge. Imagine Call of Duty had that. Maybe let's think about that. And then another thing I would say is spawning with the loadout. Like, what? I get to spawn with my loadout. So not only do I get to come back over and over and over again, I get to spawn with the loadout. Like, that is insane. I love that. Now, you don't get to spawn in your loadout, at least from my experience. You don't get to spawn with your loadout in the beginning of the match. I don't really know what determines whether you can or cannot spawn with your loadout. I assume it's something like, you know, having to do with timing of the match. But I've noticed that towards the end of the game or later on in the game is usually when you spawn back and you're able to spawn with your loadout, which is awesome. Now, cons. Very few. Right? Very few, but there are cons. And the biggest one, I had to take a deep breath for that one. The biggest one that everybody wants, including myself, is solos. We need solos. We need solos. We need solos. Why? Because the game is great. And although the game is great and it has everything good going for it, just having to be forced to play with quads and playing with randoms. Again, sure, you can go into a Discord. You could probably, you know, use Xbox's community post thing and try to find people to play or whatever. But just the fact that you even have to be forced to play with other people, like, this is a great game mode that would be fun to play alone, right? Imagine just hovering all over the map, using portals, and just, it's like a huge free-for-all. I think it would be so good to have a solos game mode. Right. And then, of course, duos and trios. But more importantly, solos and quads, I think, is probably the most important thing that they should have. Now, the game does stutter. I don't know if and I've noticed it only in the BR mode. I haven't really noticed it in the arena mode. It may be when you're hitting certain areas of the map on the BR mode. I have no idea what causes it, but every now and then I do see the stutters. I don't know if it's like a server issue or what. I have no idea, but that is definitely a con. Picking of items. I also forgot to mention this in the arena section too, because I was having that problem when it came to playing the game mode split ball, where you gotta like pick up the ball.
Oh my God.
You have to hold it. So I guess in interacting in this game with any items, you have to hold it instead of just tapping. And I haven't seen anything in the settings. Maybe there is a setting that you could change that on, and I'm just slow and I just didn't figure it out. But I just don't see the need of why you would have the hold to interact in this game. In Call of Duty, it kind of makes sense to me. In this game, I don't really see why that would be a thing. I think it should just automatically be automatic to just tap to interact. But yeah, that's in there. So that, to me, that's a con. And also the map. When you bring up the map, at least on controller, again, I don't know about PC, but on the map, on the game, to bring up the map, you have to hit the left directional button instead of the select button. I don't know about you guys, but every single FPS shooter I've ever played, to bring up the map has always been the select button. Always been the select button. But in this game, the select button is your inventory. So weird, right? I think it should be switched. Maybe, I know you guys in PC can like do some mapping or whatever. I don't know how it is with console. If you know, if we could change the buttons for that. I don't know. I just feel like automatically it should be the other way around. But again, that's just me, right? And then another thing would be allowing editing of loadouts in game, right? Because once you're in the game and you have that loadout set, that's it. That's the loadout you're gonna have the whole game. Like you can't change it. Like while you're dead and just, you know, spectating your teammates, you can't go and edit the loadout that you want to come in with. You know what I mean? In a way where, you know, you can, like, in a situational sense, try and help out your team when you come back. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it would be a very good option to edit your loadout while you're dead in the match. So, and then that's it. I think, and then the last thing, which this isn't specific to the BR, but just into the entire game, I believe that this game definitely needs a camo grind. I didn't see any camos. I did not see any camos. Well, obviously I saw camos, but like not earned camos, right? Based on like kills or using the amount of portals or objectives or using equipment, abilities, or whatever it is, like some type of like, you know, earned camos, right? Obviously your traditional bronze, silver, gold, platinum, whatever, all that stuff. How amazing would it be to win your gunfights using a camo that you've earned, you know, and having other players see that, whether you're in the arena or in the Battle Royale mode. So yeah, that's basically it. So again, I appreciate you guys getting this far into the video. I know I talk a lot, right? I know I got a lot of stuff to say and mention, and I'm happy that you guys are out there listening to me and actually care about what I have to say. Let's get this video, you know, past 100 likes, just like the last one. I think my last video is at 100 likes or getting close to it. And we have like almost 4,000 views as of right now in that video, and like around 150 or almost 200 comments. I love the support. I love making these type of videos where I get to express how I feel about a game and enjoying, you know, playing the game. And then you guys get to get down in the comments and just basically have a discussion with me, right? I try to do my best to answer every single comment. So get in the comment section, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification for more videos like this. I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Love you all, and God bless. Peace.